Welcome to part 8 of Let's Play Legend of Zagor by Ian Livingstone. At the end of the last part I was on paragraph 205 and I was about to fight some animated armour. I'll just read the paragraph again to remind myself because it's been nearly a week since I last did a video. To your delight, the room beyond the yellow door contains a tower chest and a pair of guards. 2 suits of lacquered yellow plate mail carrying heavy pikes in their gauntleted hands. The magically animated suits of armour attack at once. If you choose to flee, they will chase you out of the barracks as far as the passageway outside. Turn to 64. If you wish to fight, you can back into a corner and fight these magical guardians one at a time. Okay, first and second animated armour, both 8/10. Okay. Looks like I've already fought some animated armour, but and they look almost identical. They both had 8/10, and they're both called first and second animated armor. I'll just copy this one then and put it underneath. Get rid of this. Get rid of this business. Okay, let's copy this, and then just put the word second here, and then that's it. Good. All right. Excuse me one moment. Okay, there we go. Good. Alright, what was I doing? Oh yeah, fighting the animated armor. Okay, one at a time, let's do this. My skill, like always, is, what was my skill again? Skill is 11. Well, not like always, but, since it got increased at least. Okay, so, 8/10. Okay, we roll for him first. Here we go. Just before I do that, I'll just quickly see if I get any advantages. I can't remember. Okay, we have 2 flasks of herbal liqueur, ornate onyx staff, lava sphere, roll 1 die for each enemy to determine number of stamina points deducted from enemies in combat. Won't work on Zagor. What's that thing? Blimey, so much stuff. I'm sure I saw something. Large iron spikes, grave dust. Oh, we've done that one, haven't we? Potion of invisibility used before 1 combat, subtracting 2 from the opponent's attack strength. And I've put opponent with only 1 P. I don't like that. Right, didn't see that. Blimey. Okay. Yeah, lava sphere. Okay, let's just get on with the fight. There's nothing else I can do. Right, okay. If there is, I apologise, but there are so many things to use. I can't remember which things. It's difficult to notice things that I haven't used and or would be handy. Okay, so let's roll for this. Okay, 8 plus 4 is 12. He gets 12. I get 15. 8 plus 4 is just so 12 to 15. Okay. It's down to 8. Okay, next. Okay, he gets a 6, that's 14, I get 8, that's 19, 14 to 19. The Crown of Kings by Steve Jackson. That's a really, really difficult fighting fantasy book. That's in the That's in the Steve Jackson's Sorcery mini-series. I've only actually played Crown of Kings, well, attempted to play Crown of Kings, and it's extremely hard. I think it has 600 paragraphs. I think that's the fourth and final one. The final one in the series, in the normal series that Steve Jackson wrote, was Creature of Havoc, but I don't know whether the Sorcery series came before or after that. But regardless of that, they are really hard. Anyway, so next one, you get to 4. That's 12, 12 to 22. So 12 to 22. It's down to 6. Okay, 9, that's 17 to 20, that was lucky. 17 to 20. I win again. Okay, 14 to 15. Blimey, that was close. 14 to 15. I thought I was a goner there. Well, used to, thought I'd taken a hit at least. Whoops, didn't do the comma. Okay, so he's down to 2, just one more hit, and he's mine. Then I can go on to the second one. Okay, he gets 11, I get 22 again. Right. So 11 to 22, and that means I win. So he's down to 0. Okay, now on to the second animated armor. Exactly the same thing as before. They might as well just have put the whole thing under one enemy, but just put his stamina up. They might as well have put his stamina up to 20. There we go, because he's pretty much the same enemy, and you do fight them one after the other, so it's pretty much just double the stamina, really. Okay, so what are we doing? Just the same thing as before. Right, okay, so he gets a 5, that's 13, I get 7, that's 18. 13 to 18. Whoops, wrong one, do it on this one. 13 to 18. I bet you were screaming at the screen there, going, "No, I'm typing it in the wrong one," and I nearly forgot to put the stamina deduction there. Wipe my screen quickly. Seems to be a smudge on it. Okay. Yeah. So 11. That's 19, and here we go. 19 to 16. He takes a hit off. Here we go. It's more annoying that it makes the battle last longer as well, because they really are getting to be a pain. I mean, look at that. Look at how many changes I've had in stamina. It's just, that just shows how many fights I've had. Well, more or less. Okay. He gets a 6, that's 14. I get 10, that's 21. 14 to 21, we're back on track. Down to 6. Okay, next he gets 7, that's 15, I get 6, that's 17, so 15 to 17, that was close, wasn't it? Okay, he gets a 9, that's 17, I get an 8, that is 19, so 17 to 19, again that was close, but doesn't really matter, has no bearing on the future, because all dice rolls are mutually exclusive. Okay, last hit, hopefully. Oh, here we go. 11, that's 19. I get 6. Yeah, here we go. 19 to 17. I knew I spoke too soon. Prolonged the agony. Almost literally, really, because he is hurting me. Okay. He gets a 6. That's 14. I get a 10. That's 21. Good, I win. 14 to 21. And that is the end of him. Right. Space, even though I never need it, but I want to do it anyway. Okay, so now to 15. Let's use some provisions. Actually, let's use some of the oatmeal slabs. Let's put that down to 2 now. Let's just put 1. Okay, I want to keep how many I had, so I've just put 1 used. There we go. Yes, that puts our health up to 19, or stamina rather up to 19 again, because Okay, so 2 of those left. Let's get rid of the buzzing because it's annoying, of course. Okay, let's continue on. If you win, the tower chest here has a small shield on its lid, showing 8 green stars on a yellow background. When you have opened it, you leave here. Okay, what do we do again? We have to... Oh yeah, we just test our skill now, don't we? So we just need to test our skill. This needs to be less than or equal to 11. Excellent, good. Get rid of the buzzing. And then we have to roll. If it were greater, that means we get hurt, I think, doesn't it? But because we have the lockpick from the thief or whatever, the thiefling, if that's a word, we don't use our luck anymore. That's right. So if it's even, I know what it is, I think, because I always get even and always end up getting the silver dagger. So if it's even, it's a silver dagger. If it's odd, it's a golden talisman. So we have to roll 1 die. And this time it's this time it's an odd number. So this time we get a golden talisman. Wonderful, good. I was a bit concerned I didn't have enough of them, even though I can't really remember what they do. But okay, so now we have 3 golden talismans. So we have 3 golden talismans and 5 silver daggers. Wonderful. Okay, and we need to write down what the thing had. Oh yeah, what does this chest have? This chest has, what was it, a green shield. They were a thing in the UK originally. They were called Green Shield. What are they called? Green Shield stamps. That's it. Yeah, they were like a sort of loyalty thing. If you bought lots of items in a shop, they didn't have supermarkets back then because they were ghastly. But if you bought lots of things in a shop, some shops would give you Green Shield stamps, and you could redeem them for like purchases and stuff. A bit like loyalty cards do now, as we have like Nectar. I do actually have a Nectar card, and the reason why I have a Nectar card is even though it is just really cheap market research. I mean, years ago, supermarkets would spend a lot of money on market research. Now it's handed to them on a plate, all that data, and all they give in return is loyalty points, which aren't really worth that much. But I did actually get a Nectar card because of eBay. I do purchase a lot of stuff on eBay, and you get Nectar points back on it. So I had no choice really. So I've been sucked into the system of loyalty points, and there's nothing I can do about it. Anyway, so what was I doing? Oh yeah, writing down what was said here. 8 green stars on a yellow background. Okay. Chest with 8 green stars on a yellow background. Wonderful. Okay. What are we doing? Right, we're moving on. When you have opened it, you leave here. You can open the blue door if you haven't done so. Turn to 327. Search the many barracks rooms thoroughly if you haven't bothered before. Turn to 12, or leave the barracks and head south and turn to 64. We are going to open the blue door because we haven't done so, or rather, because we can, because we haven't done so. Okay, so we're going to turn to 327. Excuse me for excuse me for a couple of seconds for you, but for me it'll be probably like 2 minutes. I apologise. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so here we are at 327. Pushing open the blue door, you find yourself in the Royal Statuary. Great life-sized statues of the kings of Amaryllia once lined the grand blue-flecked marbled walls here. They are shattered now, possibly by magic, you suspect. Fiery blast marks pepper the walls behind the remains of the statues. However, there is one statue here that remains intact. It is several feet high, and it comes to life with a very threatening gesture as you enter. An expressionless warrior in shape, the enormous statue has a massive spiked stone club. Has a massive spiked stone club in one stone fist and a long, slender whip in the other. It is clearly a formidable enemy. Behind it you can see a wooden chest decorated with a small heraldic symbol of some kind, so it's guarding something which may be valuable. If you decide to fight it, you must do so immediately. It's end of 126. Alternatively, you can flee by closing the door here. In that case, will you open the yellow door if you haven't done so already? Turn to 205. Search the barracks thoroughly if you haven't done so. Turn to 12. Leave the barracks and explore elsewhere. Turn to 64. Okay, there he is. Oh dear. And there's a little chest he's guarding. He doesn't look friendly, does he? Okay, right. Okay, yes, we're going to fight it. So let's go to 126. Another fight. Whom are we fighting this time? The Stone Colossus swings its club. Each time it hits you, you must roll 1 die. On a 5 or 6, you lose 3 points of stamina rather than the usual 2. If at any time when you roll dice to determine the attack strength of the Colossus, you roll a total of 11 or 12, turn at once to 170. Stone Colossus, skill 8, stamina 18. Okay, so Stone Colossus, 818. Right, let's just get on with this. Okay, Stone Colossus, 8 and 18. The 8's already there, good. Okay, let's go. So every time it hits us, let me just do this. Each time it hits you, roll a die. If it's 5 or 6, we lose 3 points of stamina. And if it rolls an 11 or 12 with its attack strength, then we have to turn it once to 170. Oh dear. Right, okay. It's not going to be pretty, is it? Right, okay, let's just move this over there a bit. There we go. Okay, so rolling for him first, and he gets a 10. At least it's on 11 or 12. That's 18. I get a 7, that's also 18. Okay, so now overall control. So 18, 18. And it didn't get 11 or 12, and it didn't hit us, so we don't have to do anything else. Okay, next. Okay, he gets a 5, that's 13. I get a 6, that's 17. Good. 13 to 17. And he's down to 16 now. Okay, next. Okay, he gets an 8, that's 16. I get a 10, that's 21. 16 to 21. And he's down to 14. Good. So far, so good. Famous last words, of course. Okay, he gets a 9, that's 17. I get a... yeah, we go. I get a 4, that's 15. So 17 to 15. So he beats me. 17 to 15. Now remember, we have to roll another die, and if he gets a 5 or 6, you have to take 3 points of stamina off. And he gets a 5, of course, lovely. So that means we take 3 points of stamina. Alright, brilliant. Actually, we remember this one, so we're down to 16 now instead of 17. That's helpful. Okay, here we go, next one. Okay, he gets a 7, that's 15. I get a 4, that's 15. So 15 to 15. So that's the same. Well, exactly the same, what am I saying? Okay, okay, he gets a 7, that's 15. I get a 9, that's 20. So 15 to 20. Good, right, he gets down to 12. Okay, next he gets a 10, that's still not 11 or 12, but that is 18. And I get a 10, that's 21. So 18 to 21. And that means he's down to 10. Okay, next he gets a 9, that's 17. I get a 9, that's 20. So 17 to 20. And that puts him down to 8. Excellent, right. Okay, he gets an 8, that's 16. I get an 8, that is 19. So 16 to 19. And he goes down to 6. Lovely. Okay. He gets a 3, that's 11, that's good. And I get a 7, that's 18. So 11 to 18. And he gets down to 4. Okay, he gets a 4, that's 12. And I get 11, that's 22. So 12 to 22. I'm surprised I made... I'm surprised I've hardly been hurt. In fact, I've only been hurt once. And I'm also surprised he hasn't scored an 11 or 12, which would mean I get that annoying thing. Although, having said that, I imagine I'm now going to get an 11 or 12. No, I'm not. Good. Okay, 8. He gets a 16, and I get a 6. That's 17. So 16 to 17, and that means he is beaten. Good. So that means, excuse me for one moment. Sorry about that. There was a bit of commotion. Okay, so 16 to 17. That means he's down to 0, and that means he's beaten. Wonderful. Okay, let's just get rid of the buzzing. Brilliant. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so we've beaten the Stone Colossus without actually rolling, without his rolling an 11 or 12. So now we're up to 293. I mean, now we're going to 293. Okay, the Colossus collapses at last. Weary with the effort, you drag yourself over to the wooden chest and examine it carefully. The small shield design on its lid shows a pair of yellow goblets on a blue background, rather. Okay, let's just write that down. Look at all the creatures we fought. Okay, so chest with 2 yellow goblets on a blue background. Brilliant. Okay, now we have to roll for the tower chest thing, don't we? So we need this to be less than or equal to 11, which it is. Good. That's the skill thing done, because we're now using the lockpick, as I just said 5 minutes ago. And we need to roll even or odd 1 die. So yeah, and we roll a 4. That means we get a silver dagger. Okay, so we have another silver dagger. So we're up to 6 silver daggers now. We have twice as many silver daggers as we do golden talismans. Brilliant. Okay, inside the chest you find 3 gold pieces. Oh no, it isn't a tower chest. I apologise for that. Completely apologise. We don't get one of those. I assume that was a tower chest. It isn't, so we don't get a silver dagger. Alright, yeah, I completely apologise for that, unreservedly. That wasn't a tower chest. It was just a wooden chest. Okay, so inside we find 3 gold pieces, a magic ring, and a scroll with the skill spell written on it. Gain 1 luck point. Okay, 3 gold pieces, magic ring. Oh yeah, we're up to 9 magic points now. Okay, so we have a magic ring. Up to 1 magic rings now. Good. Okay, 3 gold pieces. That means we're up to 24 now. Brilliant. And what else did we get? Spell. Fast hands. I mean hands, don't I? Can't type. Okay. And scroll with skill spell, even though it's not really useful because we're Salazar, of course. Okay. What are we doing now? Oh yeah, and we get a luck point. Do we need a luck point? No, we don't, of course, because we don't ever use luck. Okay, so now we're going to... now it's time to search elsewhere. If you haven't explored everything in the barracks area, you can open the yellow door, turn to 205, or search the dormitories and parade rooms thoroughly, turn to 12. Alternatively, you can leave the barracks and explore elsewhere. Okay, we're going to leave the barracks and explore elsewhere, so turn to 64. Okay. Leaving the barracks behind, you head southwards along the passageway. To your left is an onyx inlaid door. If you haven't opened it before and wish to do so now, turn to 78. At the end of the passage lies the Passage of Hawks. Excuse me one moment. Sorry about that. Right, I'll start reading the passage again. I was briefly disturbed. Leaving the barracks behind, you head southwards along the passageway. To your left is an onyx inlaid door. If you haven't opened it before and wish to do so now, turn to 78. At the end of this passage lies the Passage of Hawks. with a door directly opposite the corridor you're walking along. If you want to open that door, turn to 275. Otherwise, you turn east at the end of this southern passage and make for the midway point of the Passage of Hawks. To choose somewhere else to search, turn to 5. Okay, we are going to... what are we going to do? Turn east at the end of this southern passage. Yeah, so we're going to go to 5. Okay. Okay, I think we've read this already. I'm not going to read it again. Okay, this time we're going to go... where are we going to go? We're going to make for the Crossroads to the east, so turn to 92 this time. Standing at the crossroads, you see that the passageway going east has no doors. To the north, there is one door on either side of the passageway, which terminates in another east-west passage. To the south, there are 2 doors in the east side of the passage, which then turns westwards, back to the area where you entered this castle level. If you want to return south and west to where you have entered this castle level, turn to 399. To the west, the Passage of Hawks continues for some distance. If you want to head this way, turn to 5. Otherwise, you must open a door you haven't opened before. Will this be either of the doors to the north, turn to 389, the first door to the south, turn to 363, or the second door to the south, turn to 73. Okay, we're going to open either of the doors to the north, so we're going to go to 389. Looking northwards, it is obvious that the passageway here is littered with traps. There are visible tripwires pardon me. There are visible tripwires on the floor, and wall-mounted crossbows are perched ready to deliver a nasty volley of shots at you. Clearly, getting past this stretch of corridor to the doors and passages in the distance will not be simple. If you do not want to enter this trapped area just yet, but prefer to explore an area you haven't visited yet, go west to the midway point of the Passage of Hawks and turn to 5. Because the trapped area of corridor is some 10 yards in length, a jump spell will take you only part of the way along. If you can and wish to use this spell, turn to 268. If your only option is to stride forward and hope for the best, turn to 354. Okay, we're going to cast a jump spell. So let's go to 268. Actually, let's just have a quick look. On 389, let's have a quick look at the spell thing. Spells. Yep. There we go. Okay, where's this jump spell? There. This spell enables you to leap safely a distance of up to 6 yards. If you are faced with an obstacle, a chasm, a trapped corridor, etc., which is not stated to be longer than 6 yards, you may use this spell to traverse the obstacle safely. This spell cannot be cast during a combat. Okay, so let's go back to 289, or 389, whatever it was. Let's try 289. No, it was 389. I knew I'd forget. Okay, yeah, so to use this spell, turn to 268, but we need to use a magic point. However, as soon as we use the magic point, we can quickly put it back up to 9 again, because we have a magic ring. So let's put magic rings down to 0 again. Okay, so we're turning to 268. You have landed on a concealed pit trap. Below you, below you, the ground simply. That's it. It's weird. It's weird language. Below you, yeah, they've missed out the comma. That's why it's difficult to say. Below you, the ground simply gives way and opens up to reveal a deep pit filled with spikes. You must leap forward to avoid this. Test your skill. Add 2 to the dice roll if you are stubble. If you are successful, turn to 26. If you fail, turn to 191. Okay, so we need to test our skill. This needs to be less than or equal to 11. And we get 7. Good. Okay, get rid of the buzzing. Okay, so we were successful, and so we're turning to 26. A very deep pit behind you now. No, no commas. A very deep pit behind you now blocks your safe passage southwards as you clamber painfully out. Unfortunately, the entire length of the passage to the south, as far as the Passage of Hawks, has opened up as a second pit trap. Is belatedly triggered. Returning that way won't be easy unless you can find some way of resetting the pit trap. It's too far for even a jump spell to get you across. So you are now faced with a wooden door to your right, another one directly opposite on your left with a ceramic plaque showing a silver crown on it, and ahead of you an east-west passage in the distance. You should explore an area you haven't entered before. I'm sick of reading that. Will you open the door to your right, turn to 55, open the door to your left, turn to 112, or make for the junction between the two passages and turn to 43? Okay, so we're going to open the door to our right, so turn to 55. Okay. As you are about to open this plain wooden door, you notice that it is just ajar and you hear orcish squeals and a deep grunt coming from behind it. Peeking cautiously in, you see an orc poking the point of a sharp wooden spear through the bars of a small cage to torment the creature inside it. You've never seen anything like the imprisoned animal before. It resembles nothing so much as an oversized piglet with iron plates along its back and legs. It has a thick, long pink snout at which the hateful orc is jabbing. The poor thing grunts and whimpers in fear of the orc. If you want to attack the orc, turn to 88. If you decide not to, turn to 280. Okay, let's have a look at this thing. Oh, orcs, why are you so evil? Right, I suppose they're born of evil. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to attack the orc, of course. 88. 2 fat ladies. This is not too hard. The orc turns to meet you as you move into attack. Its wooden spear is a poor weapon, so if it strikes you, you will lose only 1 point from your stamina. Orc, skill 6, stamina 6. Okay, let's quickly get this over with. It should just be a formality. But of course, famous last words. That always applies to everything. That always applies to everything I do in my entire life. Famous last words. Okay, so he gets a 5. That's 11. I get a 4. That's 15. So 11 to 15. But if it hits me, only take 1 point of stamina off because it only has a wooden spear or whatever. Okay, it gets a 4, that's 10. I get 11, that's 22. So 10 to 22, that was a little bit of overkill there, but I'm happy. I'm happy, the orc's unhappy, everyone's happy. Right, okay, except the orc. Okay, he gets 9, that's 15. I get a 4, that's 15. Unbelievable, unbelievable. He actually equalled me. That was close. Right, okay, so again, hopefully last hit. He gets a 7, that's 13. I get a 9, that's 20. Good. 13 to 20. And he's dead. Good. Let's see in a bit what the point of that was. I don't know. It's a little bit too easy, especially after the creatures we fought already. Okay, if you win, you open the cage to free the whimpering prisoner. It rubs its snout against your leg happily and makes a soft noise almost like the purring of a cat. And then it gives out a more distressed noise which rather alarms you. Other orcs could hear it, and they may not be as easy to kill as the one you have just dispatched. Trying to hush the creature just makes it noisier. You guess that it may be hungry, but it turns its snout up at an offer of provisions. If you have some iron spikes, turn to 374. If you haven't any of these, turn to 358. Okay, luckily we have some iron spikes. And there they are. Yeah, 6 large iron spikes. Okay. Okay, so we have some iron spikes. We're going to turn to 374. Okay. Interesting. Always like looking at the pictures of this book. You wonder what the context is. But we're not allowed to look at them. That's what the rules stipulated. With extraordinary agility, the little brute leaps onto your back, rummages in your backpack with its hard little claws, sniffs out the iron spikes, grabs 2 of them in its paws, and gobbles them up. When it jumps down, you can see that the iron plates on its back and legs are visibly sturdier, and the animal gives a soft growl of pleasure. The little beast will follow you and help you in future. If you meet creatures that are made of metal or which wear metal armor, great orcs wear metal armor, as do their leaders and chieftains. Ordinary orcs, mutant orcs, and zombies do not. Then this little beast will help you to fight them, destroying their armor. When fighting these creatures, you can subtract 1 from their attack strength. The Iron Hog helps in all such combats from now on. You cannot choose which combats it will or will not help you. With which combats it will or will not help you. It automatically attacks any armor-wearing or metal creature. Roll 1 die and add 1 to the number rolled. This is the maximum number of combats in which the Iron Hog will take part before it runs off. It runs away immediately if it sees a dragon. And the worst thing is I'm going to have to type all this out. Now, with this strange creature in tow, will you open the door opposite with this ceramic plaque? If you haven't done so before, turn to 112, or make for the end of the passage, turn to 43. Okay, let's put this in. Okay, we now have... okay, we now have... I'll put this here. Okay, we now have an Iron Hog. Actually, I won't put it there. I'll put it at the bottom. We now have an Iron Hog. Subtract 1 from attack strength of any armor wearing enemy. I won't put enemy, I'll put foe because no one uses that word anymore. I'm bringing back the word foe. People are going to use it again, god damn it. Okay, people only ever use it when they say friend or foe. That's only because of the alliteration. People should use foe all the time, I think. Anyway, okay, so, and I'll put 6 uses. And I'll put 6 uses with the number 6, the cipher. 6 uses, there we go. 6 uses, runs away immediately. Oops. When it sees a dragon. There we go. So that's another thing I'll have to remember. Right, okay. So now what are we doing? Okay, we're going to open the door opposite us with the ceramic plaque. Because we haven't done so before. So turn to 112. Does this book ever end? I mean, seriously. Okay, opening the door, you find yourself in a ransacked room with another silvered door in the west wall. Standing in the middle of the room, carrying a sack, is a leather-clad elf. He's tall and slim, and he reacts swiftly to your presence, drawing a long dagger dripping with an oily green liquid. He has a strange crooked smile, and a livid red scar runs down the right side of his face. He wears a plain grey cloak which shimmers oddly, and as you look at him it seems as if his body is swimming in and out of focus. If you have a thief hireling with you, turn to 87. If you haven't, turn to 140. Okay, we don't because we used him up. Yeah, so he's gone. So we're going to have to turn to 140. And the elf looks you up and down and doesn't seem the least bit afraid of you. If you want to talk to him, turn to 315. If you decide to attack him for the bag of treasure he is carrying, turn to 157. Okay, we're going to talk to him, so turn to 315. Oh, not another one. Good. At least we're not fighting him, blimey. Look at him. Look at him. He even has a weird hand on his head, which means something, I imagine. Okay. Perhaps the capricious elf will talk to you, but maybe he prefers not to. Roll 2 dice. Add 2 to the total rolled if you are stubble, since the elf doesn't like dwarfs much. And subtract 1 if you have a thief hireling with you. If you bribe the elf with some gold, he is more likely to talk. You must offer him 4 gold pieces, in which case you can subtract 3 from the number rolled. If the final total is 8 or higher, turn to 239. If the total is 7 or less, turn to 9. Okay. Okay, so... yeah, so we want it to be less than 8, really. So we want it to be less than 8. Subject 3. Okay, so we're going to offer him the 4 gold pieces, of course, because we have loads of gold. Okay, so we're going to put the gold down to 20. Okay, so there's your gold. Okay, but we need this now. We need to... we don't have to add 2 because we're not stubble, and we don't have a thief anymore. So we need to roll 2 dice. We need to roll 2 dice, and this needs to be less than... well, and then we need to subtract 3, pretty much. Yeah, so it needs to be 10 or less, really. Okay, 10 or less. Yes, we get 6. Okay, subtract 3, that gives us 3. And, yeah, good, that's 7 or less. Oh yeah, of course it is. It says 7 or less there. Okay, I do prefer 7 or fewer, though, because dice rolls are discrete numbers. They're not... you know, you can't have 7.5. I mean, if you say 7 or less, then it implies that you could have like a roll of 6.5 or 6.3, or, you know, and there's an infinite number of decimals between between 2 whole numbers. I mean, really, I mean, although paradoxical, there's the same number of numbers between 1 and 2 as there are numbers on the real number line. You know, it's just one of those things. There's an infinite number of numbers between 1 and 2, or 0 and 1. There's the same number. It's the same. The infinity is the same size. Anyway, but regardless of that, that's why I think it should be 7 or fewer. Okay, so we're going to go to 9. I am El Raynal, Master Thief. This is one of my old haunts, Castle Argent. I have lifted more pleasing little items from round here than you could possibly count up. Not much left these days, though, not with these stinking orcs around. Don't know why I can't read. Not with these stinking orcs around. They've looted so much of the place and vandalised the rest. This is probably my last visit. Time to teleport home, I reckon. That is... unless you'd be interested in buying a little something. Information perhaps, maybe some orc bane. You haggle a little with the elf, and finally agree to a list of prices for the help he's prepared to offer. To consider the items he has for sale, turn to 66. To consider the information he could give you, turn to 22. Okay, we're going to consider the items he has for sale. So we're going to go to 66. Okay, El Raynal can offer you the following items: Potion of Stamina, 8 gold pieces; Potion of Luck, 5 gold pieces; Vial of Orc Bane, 5 gold pieces; Scroll of the Spell, Fast Hands, 4 gold pieces; Scroll of the Spell, Fireball, 7 gold pieces; Magic Ring, 5 gold pieces. All an absolute bargain, he says sadly. My wives and children will surely starve to death if I'm forced to sell at these prices. By all the gods and goddesses, I'm too soft-hearted a soul, truly I am. The potion of stamina, when drunk, restores lost stamina equal to half your initial score. Round fractions up. The potion of luck, when drunk, restores 1 to 3 lost luck points. Roll 1 die and round fractions up. Say what? How can... Oh, I don't understand. How can you round fractions up if you roll one die and round fractions up? It doesn't make any sense unless it's talking about the fact that I only have 7 luck points. I don't understand. Maybe it's because it does the same thing half or whatever. Either potion can be drunk at any time except during a combat. The Orc Bane can be applied to any edged weapon, axe, sword, or dagger before you fight orcs, and for the first 6 attack rounds, any hit you achieve will cause 2 extra points of stamina. This damage works on any type of orc, including their achievement. It doesn't make any sense. Listen to this. Any hit you achieve will cause 2 extra points of stamina. That doesn't make any sense. Will cause 2 extra points of stamina to do what? I mean, increase, decrease, stay the same. Doesn't matter. I assume it's decrease, but it's missed it out. Any type of orc, including their chieftains and mutant orcs too. If you decide to buy something, adjust your adventure sheet accordingly. Elrainel accepts either gold pieces or any valuable treasures you have taken from Castle Argent, except for armor, which is of no use to him. Next, if you want to buy some information, turn to 22. If you've completed your dealings with Elrainel, turn to 239. If you get greedy and attack him in the hope of taking his excellent treasures, turn to 157. That's not going to happen, is it? Okay, so we're going to take... Okay, we're not going to... Okay, we're actually not going to buy anything from him. We're going to buy some information from him. That's what I wrote down. So turn to 22. Good information doesn't come cheaply, Elrainel grins. You must pay him 2 gold pieces for the chance to talk about each of the following topics. He will tell you about one subject free of charge if you bribed him to talk. Oh good, I did bribe him to talk. Magical weapons in Castle Argent, turn to 81. Tower chests and where to find them, turn to 108. Healing or plague antidote, turn to 176. General information about this castle level, turn to 392. And how to get into the Great Tower where Zagor lies, turn to 351. In each case, pay the elf, then turn to the paragraph noted. You must subtract payment from your treasure for each choice, of course. Elrainel accepts both gold pieces and any valuable items of treasure you have taken from the castle except armor, which he won't buy. Next, if you contemplate buying any items Elrainel has for sale, turn to 66. If you've completed your dealings with Elrainel, turn to 239. If you get greedy and attack him in the hope of taking his excellent treasures, turn to 157. Okay, we're going to buy some information, and we're going to ask about the tower chests and where to find them. So we're going to subtract 2 and turn to 108. Okay, 108. Well, of course, they've appeared here just recently. I've only been able to get at one myself. Elrainel flourishes a silver dagger. If you want to buy this, it will cost you 6 gold pieces. Whether you buy or not, Elrainel continues. There's certainly one in the treasury behind the throne room, and Gruul, the monstrous ogre in the east wing, he has one too. I believe there is one in the west wing, guarded by the greatest of the Hellhorns. Vile things they are. Beware their whips and poison. Turn to 22. Okay, we're going to buy the dagger from him, so -6, that means we're down to 12 now. And then that puts our silver daggers up to 6, so how it was supposed to be, well, how I mistakenly put it when I thought there was a tower chest earlier. So now we definitely have double the number of silver daggers as we do golden talismans. Okay, and now we're going to return to 22. Okay, what now? Okay, we have now completed our dealings with Elrainel. So now we're going to turn to 239. The elf rubs a magical ring on his left hand and simply vanishes. He has teleported out of Castle Argent with his booty. Now all you can do is open the westerly door in this room, 10 to 150. Leave this room by the door you came in through and open the door opposite if you haven't already done so, 10 to 55. Or leave and head north to the east-west passageway, 10 to 43. We're going to leave and head north to the east-west passageway and 10 to 43. You are standing in the middle of an east-west passageway and the stink of orcs is very strong here. To the east you can see two doors, one to your left and another one further along to your right. The left-hand door is unmistakably the entrance to an orc barracks. Here the smell is strongest. To the west the passageway swings round to the north. Explore an area you haven't entered before. Will you now open the door to the orc barracks? 10 to 204. Open the further door to the east, 10 to 67. Or head west and then northwards, 10 to 368. Okay, we're going to open the further door to the east, so 10 to 67. Pardon me. You have entered the rooms of the Argent Knights, the elite defenders of the castle. This network of rooms, though very extensive, has been thoroughly pillaged by the orcs. However, most of the doors still bear the shield designs of the Argent Knights, together with their names. If you are Salazar, 10 to 395. If there is a specific knight whose name you know and whose room you want to find, 10 to 117. Otherwise, even making a search of a few rooms will be time-consuming. If you want to do this, 10 to 159. If not, 10 to 43 and explore elsewhere. Okay, we're Salazar, so we're going to 10 to 395. What's that? Oh, it's the board game, isn't it? Yeah, it's a board game or something. I bet that's rare. I bet that goes on eBay for like 1,000 quid. With 1,000,000 bids from the collectors. Anyway, you find a concealed magical portal in one of the smallest chambers of the knight's quarters. If you want to cast a teleport spell here, it will convey you past some of the greatest dangers of this castle level, and past some treasures too. If you want to use this portal, you must cast a teleport spell and walk into it, 10 to 41. If you don't wish to use this portal now, you may be able to do so later. Make a note of this paragraph number. You can return here to teleport from any chamber on this level of the castle. Not during combat, of course, and not once you have crossed any staircase on this castle level. You may be able to do something. Make a note of this paragraph. Oh, I see. Now, if there is a specific knight whose name you know and... Whoops, didn't want to do that. And whose room you want to find, 10 to 117. Making a search of even a few rooms will be time consuming. If you want to do this, 10 to 159. Otherwise, you leave the rooms of the Argent Knights. You can open the doors to the Orc Barracks if you haven't done so before, 10 to 204, or make your way west to the point where the passageway bends north, 10 to 368. Okay, what shall we do? Okay, I should make a note that we can teleport at any time. Okay. Paragraph 41. We can teleport. What is it? Teleport there as long as we haven't crossed any stairwells, whatever. Okay, so that's that sorted. Right. And where are we going now? 395 we're on, wasn't it? Yeah. What are we doing now? Okay, there's a specific knight. Is there a specific knight whose name I want to find in 10 to 117? I think there is. Let's have a look and see what names we've collected. Okay, Sir Bethel had the flying sword. Right. Making a set. Yeah, 10 to 117. 117, let's go there now. Okay, convert the name of the knight into a number using the code A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, and so on. Add the numbers together, multiply the total by 6, then turn to the paragraph with that number. If the knight's name isn't the first word you read, you are incorrect and you must turn to 159. Okay, so Bethel. B is 2. Let's just add this up. Okay, so B is 2. So plus E is 5. T, what was that? Z is 26. Y is 25. X is 24. W is 23. V is 22. U is 21. So T must be 20. Okay, so 20. H is E is 5. F is 6. G is 7. H must be 8. E is 5 again. And then L is, H is 8, I is 9, J is 10, K is 11, L is 12, L must be 12, yeah, so plus 12, okay. So that equals 27, 35, 40, 52. 52 times 6 equals 52. 52 times 6 equals, well, 50 times 6 is 300, and 2 times 6 is 12, so it's 312. Brilliant. Okay, so we need to turn to 312. Right, if this isn't Bethel, we have to turn to 159. I'm glad I remembered that, actually, just in case. Yep, here we go. Bethel's Chambers. Actually, his first name wasn't the first word. The first word is actually Bethel's, and that's not actually his name. His name is Bethel, so they were wrong. If you, of course, count apostrophes, which, of course, I do. Okay, Bethel's chambers have been ransacked, but to your surprise, a short sword is lying on the table, and 3 dead orcs are lying on the floor. The bloodstains around their bodies look relatively fresh too. As you are pondering this scene, the sword speaks to you. I'm an orc-slaying sword, it murmurs nonchalantly, and a bit needlessly given the presence of the corpses here. If you have magical strength, I can help you. I just love killing orcs. But I need magic to help me to fight to the best of my ability. If you want to take and use this sword, you need magic points to use it effectively. If you are fighting any kind of orc, you can spend 1 magic point to activate the sword. This can be done in addition to making a normal attack, but not in addition to casting a spell. When you have done so, roll 1 die, and add 2 to the number rolled. For this number of attack rounds, the sword will fly through the air and attack any single orc, including great orcs. I don't want it now. Including great orcs, mutant orcs, etc., but not Cthulhu, the orc chieftain. You can see in the room where combat is taking place. You may choose which orc to strike. Each time it strikes its target must lose 3 stamina points. The sword attacks only orcs in this way, however, not any other kind of monster. Once its attacks are expended, you can always use another magic point to activate it again. So all it does is you just roll a die, and that's the number of attack rounds that it. That's the number of attack rounds that it works on, and every time it works, every attack round, fly through the air and attack any orc and take 3 stamina points off, and then after you use the magic point, you can do it again. Always use another magic point to activate it again. Now you can make a general search of the rooms here. If you haven't done so, turn to 159, or return to the main passageway outside and search elsewhere. Okay, let's write this down. Okay, let's just write this down. Okay, so now we have a magic sword. What's the sword called again? Orc slaying sword. Right, okay. Okay, orc. Let's just do this on a separate line. Orc slaying sword. Use 1. I just put 1. No, not 2. 1. Thank God. Magic point. and roll 1 die. Add 2 to score, and this, is that how it works? Whoops, wrong one. Add 2 to the number rolled. Okay, that's how much it works. Okay, as many times it works. Add this, and this is how many attack rounds the sword will take off 3 stamina points from an orc of my choosing. Okay, that'll do. Alright, next. Okay, I shall go to the next paragraph and then I'll end the video. Okay, now we're going to do a general search of the room, so turn to 159. I apologise for the disruptions during this video, but when people are talking and it's interfering with the video, I have to stop the video for a bit, otherwise it'll infiltrate the video and make it annoying. I apologise for this mistake also of thinking I had a silver dagger, thinking I had another tower chest when it wasn't, it was just a normal chest. Okay, 159. Searching through the chambers of the Argent Knight, you must eat a meal. Test your spot skill. If you are successful, turn to 237. If you fail, you find nothing unusual, so turn to 43 and search elsewhere. Okay, so that's going to be the end of the video. I'll test my spot skill in the next video, so 159 is the next paragraph. So next video, I shall be testing my spot skill, and then I shall be deciding whether to, or rather, well, that will decide for me whether I, oh yeah, and as I'm Salazar, I'm guaranteed to win, aren't I? Yeah, subtract 2 from dice roll, which pretty much means I'm guaranteed to win. Yeah, so in the next video I shall decide, well, I shall eat a meal, which will probably be one of the oat things, and then just to get rid of them, and I'll be testing my spot skill, even though I'm guaranteed to win. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.